Hello, hello, welcome everybody. This is your one-star platinum founder council member, IATAN card holder, and top income earner, Sarah Rogers, coming with you for day 3 of boot camp. Today, we're going to close out strong. I just want to say I'm super proud of all of you that have made it all the way. Super excited to be giving away some cash prizes later on this evening, some special gift cards, and all the wonderful goodies that we're going to be giving away later on this evening for those of you that stick it out to the very, very end. So today and right now, what we're going to go over is mental mindset. I think it's super important, just starting off the new year the right way, to be able to come into this business with the right mindset, right? To fix our mindset, to help stop those negative thoughts from approaching and cutting off and ruining our ability to be able to maximize our growth, to be able to maximize our income potential. A lot of that really has to do with how is your mind set up, okay? I think it's really important for us to all to come with an open mindset, to come with a mindset that will allow us to grow, because where we see growth in our mind, we can see growth in our pockets. And that's why we're all here. That's why we all started this, right? Because we're all in it to make more money. So let's go ahead. And if you guys are ready for some mental mindset nuggets, please go ahead and put it in the chat box. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let me go ahead and get my screen up and running for you guys. All right, perfect. Go ahead and minimize that. All righty, everyone is ready. Awesome. Okay, perfect. So starting out your mind right, okay, mental mindset with Sarah Rogers, one-star platinum, founder, council member, IATAN card holder, and top income earner. Let's go ahead and let's get it, y'all. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep on moving. All right. 10 things that require zero talent. How many of you guys come into this business, you're like, oh my goodness, I don't have any experience. I don't have any special skill sets. I don't know where to even get started, right? A lot of the times we need to remember that our success, there's a lot of things that we can do in this business that actually requires zero talent, that requires zero experience, right? But that can allow us to go ahead and get us set up successfully. So 10 things that require zero talent. Being on time. Being on time requires zero talent. Making an effort. Zero talent. Being high energy. Y'all, that is zero talent. I'm recovering from sickness right now. And do you feel my energy? Zero talent. Having a positive attitude. You get to choose every single day how you look at your day. Being passionate. You guys, I'm so passionate about being able to help you guys, about being able to help you guys succeed, about being able to help my clients travel. I love when I get to help somebody plan a trip. I love when I see those pictures. I love when I see somebody having a good time and knowing that I helped create that experience for them. I love knowing that I took an agent that was maybe not so confident and help them grow and see where their business has taken them. Using good body language. When you guys are presenting, when you guys are talking to people, when you guys are out there working on your business, take heed of your body language. Are you guys sitting upright? Are you guys crouched over? Are you guys smiling, frowning? All of that is super important, that energy that you put out, right? Zero talent. Being coachable. How many of you are determined to be coachable in the year of 2022? It takes zero talent to be coachable. All you have to do is be plugged in and duplicate the process that we're laying out for you guys. Being prepared. Being prepared takes zero talent, guys. Having a strong work ethic. Who is going into 2022 determined? Who is going into 2022 ready to get to work? Nose to the ground, let's get it going. These are all things that require zero talent, guys. So when you're talking about, I don't have any experience, I don't know where to start with things that take zero talent. These 10 things. Another thing that I want to talk about is 4 steps to mental toughness. Changing that mindset from mentally weak to mentally tough. Who wants to change their mindset from mentally weak to mentally tough? It starts from how you guys talk to each other. It starts from that inner voice that you guys have every single day. Somebody who's mentally weak is going to think of maybe something you didn't do quite right. You're going to think, oh my God, I made a mess of that, right? You're going to start thinking negatively of yourself. You're going to let that mess become a reason for you to lose self-belief in yourself, right? Instead, somebody mentally tough, they look at that same mess, that same mistake as, it's all good. I'll get it better on the next one, right? It's all good. I'm going to get it on better on the next one. They remain positive. They understand that this one thing is not a reason to go ahead and lose all self-doubt. The way you emotionally respond to things helps determine whether you become mentally tough or you're going to stay mentally weak. Somebody mentally weak, they're going to become irritated easily. They're going to become discouraged easily. They're going to lose hope and blame others. Somebody who's mentally tough, they're going to remain enthusiastic, right? They're going to remain stimulated. They're going to remain plugged in. They're going to keep that positive attitude, something that requires zero talent. They're going to remain passionate, something that requires zero talent. They're going to have a strong work ethic, something that requires zero talent. Okay, mentally weak versus mentally tough. Mentally weak becomes negative in a direction and low in intensity. Mentally tough remains positive and in a direction of high intensity, right? Again, it's about how you perceive things. Having that good body language versus having that negative body language, right? Mentally weak versus mentally tough. Mentally weak, they become nervous, hides in the game. They become more concerned with the past and the future. What does that look like? Maybe you're saying you're starting this off thinking, man, I've never been good at anything. What makes me think I'm going to be good at this? Have any of you guys had that thought? Nothing that I've tried so far has worked out. How do I know this is going to work out for me? You become nervous. What are you doing? You are more concerned with your past than you are with where your future is going to be. Stop looking at your past. Stop judging your future based off your past efforts. Don't overcomplicate. People who are mentally tough, they recover well. They make good decisions later on in the game, right? Even if they've messed up, believe me, I have done a lot of things in my life to mess up, right? I have done a lot of things to people who would probably never believe that I would still be here right now, or even be able to get to a position to be here. The difference is I stopped looking at those past failures. The difference was I stopped letting my mistakes of the past determine the decisions of my future. Right? Every day I did these 10 things that required zero talent. I was on time to my trainings. I made an effort to grow. I decided I was going to have high and positive energy. Right? All of these things that you can decide every single day to do requires zero talent. Can take your weak mind and train it to become tough, train it to become strong, so that you can finally find success. Okay? Don't be afraid to fail. How many of you guys start something and you're scared to put yourself out there? You're scared to advertise. You're scared to talk to people. Taylor's the only one? Come on, let's be real here. How many people we got on the line? 40 people on. Let's be real. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is where growth comes from. It's part of the process. You cannot cheat it. I promise you. You want to know how many times I failed in this business alone? And to think if I had let any one of those failures stop me, do you think I would have all those titles under my names right now? 1-star platinum, ITAN card holder, top 5 income earner out of almost 10,000 agents in the company, Founders Council member. You think I got anywhere because I was afraid of failure, or because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to push past those failures? Failure is nothing more than a chance to revise your strategy, learn from it, grow from it, take notes. What happened in that failure? How can I improve myself? What can I take from that failure to make sure the next time I don't do that again? How many of you look back on your failures and actually take notes? How many of you look at your failures as a chance to learn and grow? What if everyone stopped trying the first time they failed? How many of you guys have kids? How many of you guys are parents here? 4 kids. Awesome, Brittany. Okay. Grandmother, me. Okay. All right. So check this out. What happens when our kids first start walking? Our toddlers, our babies. What happens? What happens when they first start walking? Marlene says they fall. Alisa, they fall, boom. Could you imagine if our babies fell and never got up because they were afraid to fall again? Think of that. All of you have already overcome failure from the time you were a little baby. Think of that process. They have to fall. Why? Why do they have to fall? To learn how to balance themselves properly, to learn that they have to put one foot in front of the other, not just 2 feet, right? Or backwards, or whatever it is our kiddos do, right? Every time they fall, that little baby's mind at that young is learning. Oops, let's not do that again, right? They're using their failure as a way to learn and grow. In fact, every time they fall, don't you see the tenacity that our toddlers have? It's like they're even more determined. We cannot let them, we cannot keep them down. Once those babies start learning how to walk, that's it, game over. They're not going back. They're not going to stop. Have you ever met a human that at toddlerhood didn't learn how to walk because they were afraid to fall? So every single one of you on this line are fully capable of learning from failure. You're fully capable of overcoming failure. And you've already learned how to embrace the process. Failure is success if we learn from it. I'm going to play this video right now.
Failure is a part of the formula, and so many people avoid it. Why avoid failure if that's the very thing that's required to succeed? 9 times out of 10, you will find everyone who's ever accomplished anything worth mentioning has failed multiple times in their life. So if somebody is afraid to fail, which is why they don't make a move in the first place, because they're afraid to fail, they're afraid of the very ingredient that's required to make the dish they're looking to make. That's like saying you want to make a pizza, but you don't want to touch the cheese. Failure is a part of the equation of success.
All right, so I want everybody in the chat box right now to type in, embrace the fail. Embrace the fail. Go ahead and type it in the chat box. Embrace the fail. Because where we fail, we will learn. Okay, guys, it is okay to make a mistake. It is okay if you don't close that prospect. It's okay if that client doesn't book with you. Why? Because we're going to learn from that experience. We're going to take that fail. We're going to take notes and turn the next time you have that opportunity into your moment to succeed.
Failure is a
All right, let's talk about some growth mindset statements, okay? Growth is painful. Change is painful. Remember growing pains when we were all growing up? You'd get the leg pains and our parents would be like, oh, that's because you're growing. It hurts, right? But that's how we get taller. That's how we get stronger. And when you work out and you have such a hard workout, the next couple of days, your muscles are sore. Why? Because you've literally ripped them and they have to regrow back stronger. Growth is painful. Change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. Who here wants to stay where they are at? Who here is comfortable with where they are at? Or who here wants better? Who here wants more for themselves? Who here wants more for their children? Who here wants more for their family? So we have to understand that in order for us to have better, we have to grow. That's the only way we change our situation. And yes, it's going to be really painful sometimes. It's going to be really uncomfortable, but it's the only way we do it. Riding a bike, super awkward at first. Who can here remembers riding a bike? How many times do we fall into a bush? How many times we're like, oh my God, we're trying to balance, right? We fall, we wiggle, we get it right. It's awkward. Maybe we still have, I know I still have scars on my legs from learning how to ride a bike, right? I can remember the time I drove my bike straight into a thorn bush. All the way in, done. Talk about painful, right? But we learned, guess what? I learned how to ride a bike that way. Painful, but we did it, right? Some growth mindset statements I want you guys to write down, screenshot this. I learn by trying new things. I focus on progress. I'm ready to ask for help. So many times people feel like I don't want to ask them for help. I don't want to bug people. But what happens when you don't do that? You don't grow. Sometimes asking for help is just asking for reassurance. And to have that reassurance, that check mark of, yes, I'm doing things right. That self-confidence boost that gives you just by merely asking. I can get through anything. How many of you tell yourselves that? I can get through anything. Focus on myself and not others. So many times I find that agents come in here and they are so focused on other people's success, what other people are doing. But you know what they're not focused on? Their goals, their success, what they're doing. Focus on you. We're here to grow you, right? You're not here to grow Adam, Eve, and Billy and Bob, right? You're here to grow you. How do you do that? Focus on yourself. Focus on your goals. Focus on your daily tasks. Focus on growing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else, because the truth of the matter is you have no idea where Bob is on his journey. You might see Bob succeeding right now, but you don't know how long he's been in the game. You don't know how many times he's had to fall and get back up to get the success that he's having right now. Why would you compare yourself to somebody's story that you have absolutely no idea what their backstage is? Stop. Stay in your lane. Focus on yourself. Everybody's front stage looks good. You have no idea what their backstage looks like. Trust me. So stop comparing their front stage to your backstage. Because I promise you, everybody has a backstage. I don't care how pretty they make their front stage look. Stop focusing on others. Focus on yourself. Tell yourself, I will keep on learning. Don't come in here on board your first week and say, I'm done. No, guess what? I'm 3 years into this business and you will still catch me on trainings. Why? Because I still have a lot to learn. And I understand the only way I can continue to grow is to continue to learn. Learning is earning. Don't ever tell yourself that you're done learning, because you're not. Well, the minute you tell yourself you're done learning is the minute your growth starts happening. Always have that open mindset to receive the knowledge, to receive the nuggets, right? Stop self-doubting yourself. Self-doubt kills dreams. Again, those mental weaknesses, right? And turning it into mental toughness. When you feel like you have zero talent or zero things to offer, go look at those 10 things that require zero talent. Start doing all of those. Write all of these statements on your mirror and repeat them to yourself every single day until it just becomes a way of thought for you. Self-doubt kills more dreams than anything that I know. Stop telling yourself you can't do it. How many of you ever talk to yourself, what if I don't do good? What if I put this ad out and nobody responds? What if I ask this person to join my business and they say no? How many of you guys have done that? That is self-doubt. Teresa, yeah, no, it's learning new habits are not easy, correct? Growing is not easy, right? That is all self-doubt. Stop. Instead, taking that what if negative, why don't you say, what if I post an ad and somebody does contact me? What if I ask that person to join the business and they say yes? What if I start producing ads every day and I start getting business? Instead of saying, what if I fail? Why don't you say, but what if I succeed? Stop saying, what if I fail, and start saying, what if I succeed? And understand it's okay not to know everything. It's okay to figure it out as you go on. You know what? I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I know that I'm going to, and I know that I'm going to figure it out as I go. I may not have all the answers, but I know that I'm going to get there. I know that I have a team to fully support me. I know that I have leaders out here in my team that are going to help me when I don't know, that are going to point me in the positive direction, in the right direction. It's okay. Don't not do something because you don't know. Ask somebody. Plug yourself into a training. Google it. Keep on learning. Ask for help. Talent comes from practice. Read that again. Talent comes from practice. Write these down, screenshot them, right? Stop feeling trapped. Stop it. How many of you guys feel stuck? You feel trapped. You don't know how to get out of this rut that you're in. 5 reasons why you guys feel trapped. Number 1, you're being passive about your life rather than being proactive. You're being passive about your life rather than being proactive. Stop letting things happen to you and start doing things on purpose. Stop letting yourself have a bad day and go out there and have a good day on purpose. You simply outgrown your current life. Have you ever looked around? And I'm going to tell you guys, I went through this in college. I was in college, partying, going to college, and I looked around to my friends and I'm just thinking, none of them are in any kind of position that I want to be in. Like, we're all the same. None of us are really growing. We're kind of doing the same things over and over again. I left that circle. Why? It wasn't because I thought I was better because of them, or because it wasn't that I thought that I was better. It was because I wanted more. I wanted to outgrow the situation that I was in. You know that saying? What is that saying? You are who you hang out with. How many of you have a group of friends that you can aspire to be like? You want to know something? You want to know who my circle of friends are now? David McCovey, millionaire. Charles Lee, bringing in $20,000 a month. Right? These are people who are in my circle. Make relationships with people you want to aspire to be like. If you've outgrown it, how can you leave it? How can you grow to better? Number 3, you desperately want to fit in and feel normal. Newsflash, there is no normal. Embrace your uniqueness. Embrace what it is about you that makes you so special. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Again, stop focusing on others and focus on you. Maybe you've taken on too many responsibilities. It's okay to say no to other things to allow yourself to focus on you and to grow. It's okay to say no. I have too much on my plate right now. You know what? It's okay to say no and not offer any other reason other than no. Number 5, soul loss and lack of purpose. Remember our goal setting class that our wonderful Miss Amy Moore did for us? Why? To give you guys a sense of purpose so that you guys can understand your why, so you can feed your soul every day you walk into this business and understand, what are my goals? What is my purpose here? What is my why? What fuels me? What keeps me going? Let's watch this video on how to stop feeling trapped.
If you get the same information you've always, never believe anything new. What motions are you taking? What movement towards something or away from something? It's your mindset. It's your map. You don't have clarity. Dude, I have these things called life gauges. these are my life gauges. Every time I'm stuck or I'm not getting what I think I deserve or where I want to be, I run everything through these 5 gauges. I call them my life gauges. The first gauge, if you can picture a car, right? And there's gauges. Like if you're driving along and shit starts to sputter and slow down and you're not causing it, what do? You look at the gauges, like what the hell's going on? So these are the gauges. The first gauge is your mindset. 9 times out of 10, dude, the reason you're not getting what you want is because you don't believe you deserve it. You're afraid to go after it. You're not sure of how to do it. You're fearful. You're insecure. You're not even trying. So it's all mindset. Your belief system is what causes you to act the way you act and choose the things you choose. So you have to be able to change your beliefs, right? Most people don't want to change, and they don't even know how to change their beliefs. Well, you change your beliefs by getting new information. The only way you'll ever change your belief system is with new information. If you get the same information you've always got, you'll never believe anything new. So you have to seek new information on a daily basis. But the first gauge you want to always double check is mindset. What are my beliefs surrounding this issue? Your mindset's the gauge number 1. You check that gauge. Then it's your maps. Okay, do you know where you're going? Most people don't know where they're going. They don't know how to get there. Their map. Just like if you're going to go to New York to try to find $1 billion I've left in a cave, would you rather have a GPS or a map drawn by a kid with a crayon? So the more detailed and clear your map is, the better. If that gauge is fine, then you move to your next one, which is your motions. Okay, your motions. What actions are you taking? What are your habits? What motions are you taking? What movement towards something or away from something? Like, motions lead to emotions, by the way, but let's say you want to lose weight. Your mindset's positive. You're really excited. You know you can do it. But then, boom, you move to your motion gauge. What are you doing every day? Well, I'm not working out. Okay, so your motions is the problem. You're not doing anything. So that's the motion gauge. Are you taking the right actions on a daily basis? Are you forming the right habits towards this goal? Yes or no? This is a yes or no, man. I want to lose weight, but I'm not eating right. Come on, man. You got to try and figure that one out. Like, dude, you got to eat right. Well, I know, but what, dude? Your motions are the problem. You're not taking the right actions. If it's not the motions, then you move on to your measurements. So your mindset, then your map, then your motions, then your measurements. Your measurements are, what am I measuring every day? Because if you're not measuring it, you're not managing it. So you got to figure out, what are your key performance indicators? What are the things that you're measuring to determine movement or lack thereof? And then the last gauge is your money gauge. Now, most people think, well, if I don't have money, I'm going to check my money gauge. You don't check your money gauge when you don't have money. You check your mindset gauge. You check your freaking maps. You check your freaking motions. You check your freaking measurements. That's why you don't have money. It's your mindset. It's your map. You don't have clarity. It's your motions. You're not taking the actions necessary to achieve. And it's your measurements. You're not measuring the right things. That's why you don't have money. People say, then what's the money gauge for? The money gauge is when you're doing all these other things and you're making a bunch of money, but you're not going anywhere. For 20 years, dude, I made a bunch of money and I was still broke. I was just broke at another level.
Alrighty, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I think we've gotten some amazing nuggets. For those of you that got something out of this training, please put it in the chat. I am ready to grow. I am ready to grow. For those of you that liked that guy, he's an amazing mental mindset person. I actually have started listening to a lot of his stuff. His name is Brad Lee. You can find him on YouTube and subscribe to him. He's also on Instagram. That's where I found him. So his name is Brad Lee. I threw it up in the chat. Awesome, guys. I'm super pumped. Thank you for plugging in. We're going to go ahead and end this training. We're going to be doing a informational team building, how to structure your team up next here at 2 p.m. Pacific time. What is that? 5 p.m. Eastern time. So please plug on in if you are interested in what the residual side of the business has to offer. I always say if you have residual income or residual bills, you might as well offset that with some residual income, right? So I'll see you guys all back here at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. EST time to go ahead and learn about all things that you can do to earn residual income here and grow that side of the business, as well as how to properly structure a team for those of you that are going through the ranks right now. Okay, guys, thank you so much. 1-Star Platinum, Sarah Rogers signing off, and we'll continue day 3 in just a couple of hours. Bye-bye.